Hi and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nikki Kirk and I've been selling on Amazon doing retail arbitrage for 4 years, all from my RV, which I'm currently in, because it's too windy to film outside today. Although it's a shame because it's real pretty out there. I'm currently out here in Idaho, really close to the Wyoming border, and today I'm going to go over an Amazon basic, something that's been requested so often, I'm just going to do a video on it, the Amazon Seller Scanning app. One of the most frequently asked questions I get is, which app do I use to scan? It's usually asked on every single sourcing video I do. It's the Amazon Seller app. It is the app that is free. It comes with your selling account. And today I'm going to walk you through how I use it. Now, it was recently updated like last week, and before that they've been adding more stuff to it. I'm only going to go over what I use it for, and I'll explain why I don't use some of the stuff. There are a lot of different apps out there that you might hear people talk to. I have BuyBot Pro, which is an app I use, but my everyday scan every single item app that I use is the Amazon Seller app. Alright, so I got my phone and I'm going to record and show you around. So here is what the app looks like. It's just there, Amazon Seller, open, and you will go to first login. So I'm in the US. Now, the app is free, but you won't be able to log in and use it if you don't have an Amazon Seller account. So if you want my help getting started from like nothing, like not having an Amazon account, all the way through like running your business day to day, I have my beginner FBA selling course. It's got 14 modules, video modules that you can come back to anytime you go at your own pace. It's got hundreds of sellers in the community. The group is now on Facebook, so everyone's talking to each other and they're asking questions. Literally, there's no dumb question. So if you want my help, that is available. It's beginnerfba.com and you can grab the course. Once you've logged in, entered your email and your password and all that, you're going to get to this screen, which is your home screen. It's where you've probably seen sellers like posting their sales and their units or hitting milestones. Now the thing to note is when you see someone posting their sales on this page, this is not profit. This is gross sales. This is what the customers paid to buy the stuff. You don't actually have any indication of what the profit is. Their profit could be, 10%, could be 50%. We just don't know that. So that's why it's never a good idea to compare yourself to what you see other sellers doing here on their just screen, because you really don't know what that is. You know that's how much they're selling, but are they selling it break even? Are they selling it, at a loss? You just don't know. But if I did have sales on this account, I would see it right here. Okay, so at the top when you first open it, this main big box right here is going to show your months, your sales by month, last 30 days, 7 days. You can filter this to be whatever you want. I typically do month to date. I just like to see the month, and you can go by units or you can go by product. So we'll just keep it on sales. Now at the very top here is going to be your sales today. So this account has had 0 sales, and then the next one's going to be units so far today, still 0. Current balance, this is the balance that Amazon is going to pay you on the next date. So right now I have 0 due, and if I had anything due, it would be paying me on August 27th. Now when you log into your Seller Central on your desktop, you're going to see a different amount. And that is because it's like everything combined. So this number here is how much is actually going to be deposited on the 27th into your account. Again, this is not profit. This is just the money that Amazon is sending you back after you sold the stuff. So it's not taking into account your cost of goods and all that. That's why it's not profit. But anyways, so I do have a full video on the breakdown of how much your reserve balance is and getting your payouts on Amazon. I will link it here because it goes more into depth on all that. That is a whole nother rabbit trail to go down. So I'm not going to get into that today, but at the top here is your current balance that is going to be due. So if it had $100 there on August 27th, I would be getting $100. On my desktop, it might say I have like $500, but only $100 is coming out because they pay you every 2 weeks. Next, you're going to see your customer feedback. I don't have any customer feedback yet, and seller feedback. Those are the same thing. So the customer feedback is going to be stars, and then the seller feedback is that percentage. So when you're shopping, or maybe don't know, on Amazon how it has like the sellers have different stars, so it's like a 98%, 100% rating. That would be what shows there. If for whatever reason you do have negative customer feedback, it's a good thing to always kind of swipe across there and see how your feedback is, because if it is negative, you have 90 days to get that removed, and you always want to take off negative, even neutral comments. To have your rating be as high as you can, 100 is obviously ideal. Anywhere above 95 is great, so you definitely want to deal with any negative customer feedback quickly. Okay, so now let's jump into how you scan. So there are 2 ways to scan on here, and there's a bunch of different ways to search. So the first thing here at the top, you hit the camera. You've got your item with a UPC. and you scan. Now, nothing came up. So what I could do instead is I'm gonna take a photo. I'm gonna scan the front like I'm taking a photo of it. If you ever hear me say it, this is what I'm talking about. So we're gonna take a photo. Sometimes you have to tap the screen to get it to go. And it's not working. If neither of those things work, then it's either not on Amazon, or if you really think it probably is, these are Target brand plastic forks. Those are probably not on Amazon. But if you really is a product you think it is, you can go ahead and type in the product name up here. So let's say Smartly Plastic Forks. So obviously those are not in there. Another thing is if I started to type this in, plastic forks and spoons, you see how it automatically generated something? If what you're typing in is automatically generated, but when you click it and it searches it, it has nothing, that tells me there's something's weird. Obviously, Amazon knows this. It didn't just make up this word on its own, right? So from that, I just go ahead and go to Amazon.com, the customer, like you're gonna go shopping on Amazon, and then I search for the product there. You can grab the ASIN and come back to the seller app and copy it and paste it in there. Now, that's just a little side note, but if you're searching it and it's really not in there, well, it's probably not in there. Not everything's on Amazon. Shocking, I know. Okay, so the other way to search besides the camera is to go right here to add a product. You just go ahead and click there. Now at the top again, you can search in by typing the word. You can go there and hit the camera and we'll do the same thing. You'll also see that there is favorites and history here. Those are the two that I use a lot. I don't actually use any of these top 4, but if you want to click around, you are more than welcome to. Obviously, it's your app, do what you want. But for me, I don't use any of those. I use favorites and I use history. Really quickly before I move on, because I just thought of it, you can have multiple people have logging in. So if you're doing it with a partner or a spouse, you can both have the app on your phone and both be signed in. It's totally fine. All right, so now we're gonna go to add a product and we're gonna scan something that has a UPC that'll come up. And now we have here a bunch of different listings. So all you do is you go through and you pick the listing you want. Obviously you want to pick something that has a good category and a good rank for that category and makes a profit. So you can see here the first one is in beauty category at 10,940. That's a great rank for beauty. Then we have here a 3-pack of 2-packs, so making 6, but there is no rank, so I don't want that one. Then we've got a restricted one because the category is pantry. Pantry is Amazon's own category. You will never be allowed to sell in pantry, so don't freak out. Usually, like above, there's another listing for it in every other category if it's also in pantry. Pantry is, I don't know if they still do it anymore. I don't think they do, but it was like when you could buy a bunch of stuff and put it in one box and then it was like shipping for cheap or something. I don't know. Anyways, the bottom one is health and personal care category, which is a great category, but it's a little bit of a higher rank. It also looks like it's sold out. You can see that from the 0 offers. So I'm going to go up to this top one with the beauty. And now you click through. You could click through on any of them. I'm just clicking through the top one. And now let's break down this page. So this is where you're going to click through and you can see everything. So I can see here the rank in beauty. I can see the title. You can see the customer reviews right there at the top, the 5 stars, 13,000. You've got the photo, the image of it. Obviously, you want to make sure you're selling what is the same item. Packaging can change, and you can even say packaging varies right here. You can see it on the title. But it has to be the same. Like the ounces have to be the same, the scent has to be the same. You do not want to sell something that is not what the customer thinks they are getting, because that's a bad customer experience, which could lead to bad feedback. So always want to sell the right thing, right? Here on the side here by the photo, you see this little box. If you just click on it, it'll tell you what it means. So on this one, they're saying it needs to be labeled, and then it tells you how it needs to be labeled. That's super weird because everyone needs to be labeled. But this one, I guess, really needs to be labeled. I don't know. Sometimes you might see that it will say it needs polybagged when you click through. Sometimes it'll say that it needs to be boxed, sometimes tape. Sometimes it'll say hazmat, which is red arrows, and if you click through, it'll tell you that it's hazmat, and that usually just means you can't ship it FBA. You have to ship it yourself. Anyway, so now we're going to skip down to the bottom here, features and details. This is a really helpful tab. Not every product has it, but most do. And you can see here how it's like Cool Wave, so I guess that's the scent of it. The dimensions, the weight, and then the ASIN. Now the ASIN is the easiest thing to grab. If you're on the Bolo group, that's how you grab your ASIN, just in case you didn't know. That's how you can find the ASIN of the product. Also, if I was concerned, I was like, oh, is it a 1-pack or a 2-pack? It might say it in the features and details, so it's really helpful to look through there. Back on this page, you'll see that I can sell this item under seller eligibility. Then we have here at the top. So these are all clickable, and you see the 4 arrows on the side here. So if you click through on the top one, this is going to be your profit screen. This is where you will put in the cost of goods. I don't remember what I paid for these. These are Damien's deodorant that I'm using to scan. $6.99 we'll say. So right there, cost of purchase, that's how much it costs you to purchase it in store. If you're in a store where you're paying sales tax, you can add on that state's sales tax. So if it was 9%, you do $6.99 times 1.09, and then you would get your price, and you can put that in there. Shipping to Amazon. Now, if you watch my videos, I never add this in, but if you want to, 50 cents is a great buffer room. So we'll just go ahead and type in 50 here. Because in general, when you pack up everything to send to Amazon, 50 cents is going to cover it. That's kind of actually on the high end, but it's a good buffer. Then if you click the FBA fees here, you can see the breakdown. The referral fee is the fee you have to pay for selling on Amazon. No matter how you sell it, if it's FBM or FBA, you're going to have to pay a referral fee for using their platform. That is the price to pay for having a website built with all the customers. That's the price we pay to sell on Amazon. Then we have the pick and pack fee. That's the FBA specific fee. That's the fee we're paying per item sold to Amazon so that they will do it all for us. They'll pack it, they'll ship it to the customer, and they will handle all the customer service. Definitely worth it. And then you see the total fee for this item, if it's priced $15.46, is $5.96. So the thing that happens is that the referral fees and the commission fees, they're all based on that price. So if I said I wanted to sell it at $19.99, you'll see now the fees went up. Now sometimes you're going to scan something and the fees are going to be ridiculous. It varies by how big it is, how much it weighs, because it's going to cost more to ship, right? So Amazon's charging that. If something seems ridiculous, out of context, then you can go ahead and open a ticket and have Amazon re-look at it. Honestly though, I don't ever do that. It's the fees are the fees. Like, so many new sellers get frustrated, like, how are you supposed to make money? I can't do FBA because Amazon's taking all of it in fees on my profit. The fees is a part of it. So I don't ever look at it as Amazon's taking all my money in profit, because I'm not going to buy it if it doesn't make a profit, if that makes sense. Don't get caught up in the fees. If you don't want the fees, you can go open your own website and get your own customers and sell it that way, or you can just pay the fees to Amazon to use their huge platform that they have. It works. I promise you it does. It's just frustrating when you're new and you're trying to find stuff, but keep going because it does work and you will get better and you will find stuff. Keep scanning. It is out there. Okay, so that is the Amazon fulfilled. Now we're going to click this tab here and you'll see seller fulfilled. So here you can see I only have to pay my referral fee. Now the confusing thing about this shipping credits is that you don't get those. That is not something you actually get. That is the money that Amazon would charge the customer if you were an individual seller only, and they would pass that on to you. So it's not a credit, you're just getting the money the customer paid for shipping. I wish they would take it out of here because it's so annoying and frustrating. If you are a professional selling account and you have just period, you don't get that. If you have to set up your shipping templates. Again, I have a whole nother video that goes over all of this, and I will link all the videos I'm talking about below because I think a couple more are going to come up. But all that to say, you don't actually get that money. It's just frustrating. You could use it as a way to say, okay, this is going to cost me $5 to ship it to the customer. Okay, so that is the profit screen and that is how you use it. So if you don't enter anything right here, well then it's going to say your profit's great, right? Match low price. So $15.46. So you can see right here, it's going to tell me my fees would be $5.96 with FBA. And when I click through, $5.96 fees. So you definitely always want to put in the cost of purchase because that's how you're going to know if it's worth it to buy or not. Okay, so now if you click through to this bottom one, the one underneath, you're going to see the offers. This is really crucial to looking how many FBA sellers there are and what the prices are. So you can see these FBM sellers, the ones at top with no prime, $13.24, $13.40. But then the FBA price, which is what you're going to match if you're an FBA seller, is $15.46. Two of them at $15.46, then it jumps up to $17.33. So I would be pricing this at $15.46. I would not be matching those FBM sellers because I'm going to do it FBA, and FBA can command a higher price. So that's how you see the offers. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some examples of what you might see. Here is an example of something that's sold out, so it's not showing you any of the profit. Like, you can't see how much profit it's going to make because it's sold out. That's what it looks like. What I generally do is, if there was other scents of this, I would scan another one that's like it, same size and everything, and then use that to look at how much the fees would be. Another thing you might see is something like this where it says we can't estimate the fees. That just means that it's never been sold FBA before, and so they don't know what the fees are because they don't know the measurements and the weight. When you get it home and you list it, it'll ask you to put in the measurements and the weight, and you can do that, and then it'll tell you, how much the fees would be. So I do buy stuff if it has never been sold before. If it's not hazmat, there's no reason you can't sell it. You just have to take that extra step. So if you ever see that, that's what that means. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the stuff that's on the bottom, and there's a lot of it. Like I said, they recently updated the app, so they've literally put everything that's on the Seller Central desktop onto the app now. However, the app is always glitchy, and I don't really ever use these. You'll see there's like 3 that I use under the bottom here. I would recommend, if you're going to do any kind of serious business do not do it on the app. Go ahead and go to the desktop version of your Seller Central to do it there, because the app is always glitchy. All right, so here we go. We've got business reports. Again, these are all just the same exact things that are on your Seller Central. So I don't ever use it. If I want business reports, I'm going to go on to the desktop version. So under add a product, you'll see the favorites and histories that I was mentioning before. So in favorites, these are all the things that I have favorited. And then if you go to history, it's literally everything that you've ever scanned, and it is useful because, like, just today I was sending ASINs to my friend of stuff I had scanned, so you can like easily go back and find the thing you were. For favorites, it's when you scan a product, and like we just did and we went through it. Now we're gonna see at the bottom here, I can favorite it, and now that will show up in my favorites. How I use favorites is generally if it was hard to find, like if you had to scan the front or you had to search it, it didn't just come up by the UPC. You want it to be readily available when you need it again, when you get home listing it. That's how I use it. So I just go ahead and favorite it. It's a way to kind of track the items. You can use it honestly however you want, but I like it so that I can easily recall things that were a little bit harder to find. All right, next up we have manage orders. So from there, you just click through. You can see I have 8 FBM orders that I need to fulfill today. But if you don't see anything there when you are first going into it, you need to hit at the bottom, filter. And so from there, you can filter out. So I have fulfilled by all because I want to see both my stuff and Amazon stuff. Shipping service, all. Shipping dates, all. Status, all. I want to see everything, right? And then 60 days, Amazon.com only, and everything. And then you just hit apply, and now all your orders are there. So if you've sold something, you're like, what the heck did I sell? That's where you would go to look at it, manage orders, and then if you're not seeing it there, go ahead and click the filter at the bottom and all. Manage returns is similar, so you can see your return status is there. I don't ever use it here, but that's what that is. Manage case logs, that's literally all your case logs. Again, this is a new thing, what didn't used to be on here. If I'm doing anything where I need help with Amazon, I'm not doing it on the app, that's for sure. So you can go to create a ticket on your Amazon desktop version, which is the better way to do it. Payments, if you click through to payments, it's literally going to be the same as your payments online. So it's going to be the account level reserve and how much you're going to get paid next and all of that stuff. Again, I have a video, I'll link it below so that if you want to go in depth of what all that means, you'll see it there. Communications, this one is crucial. If you ever get a message from a buyer and it's a real buyer, it has an order number and everything, you need to respond within 48 hours or Amazon will ding your account. So definitely respond. But your response can be no reply needed or no response needed or spam. If it's like a brand reaching out to you through, Messenger, that's kind of weird. They should be going through Amazon. I always mark them no response needed. If it's just someone upset that your price is so high and they are not an order, they don't have an order number from you, again, you can go ahead and just mark no response needed. If it is a customer of yours with an order number, you do need to respond to them. So make sure always be professional and go ahead and do that. Again, I read it here, but I go ahead and do it on my desktop because I want to type it out and take some time. And sometimes you don't think as much on the phone, or is that just me? But if you had any communications that you needed to, they would be there. News, I don't know what that is. I think it's just Amazon garbage that they have news for you. Campaign managers, I don't do campaigns, but that would be your advertising campaigns. Again, it's matching back to the Seller Central. View deals, account health. Account health is the same thing that you would see on your desktop version. Feedback, that's your customer feedback. Voice of the consumer, this never goes away because I've had two. Basically, voice of the consumer is there's something wrong with your product. It's not a feedback, it's not a review, but it's Amazon has gotten this feedback from the customer and they're passing it on to you. Sometimes they will take your listing down, sometimes they won't, but that's what that means. Explore services, B2B Central, inventory alerts, pricing opportunities, growth opportunities. Again, all of those are just different like Amazon recommendations, and I really don't ever go by what Amazon recommends. So I don't ever go into those, but they match back to your Amazon Seller Central. What I do use in the app is manage inventory, because I like to see what I have in stock. So you can filter again this to say all or only Amazon or only merchant. What is my inactive merchants? And it'll filter it. This is really useful if I were to find more of this product in store. I can easily go to it and go ahead and update my price or my inventory. I really don't recommend updating your price here unless you're doing it in store for merchant fulfilled. I always do mine online because it's a lot easier to do it from the desktop than it is from the app. But if I had added more inventory, I can go ahead and hit update and say how many I have. I'm not going to because I don't have any and I don't want to sell something I don't have. So that was the very basic beginner what the Amazon Seller app is and how to use it from a really high level. I hope this video was helpful. Again, if you want my help going through everything as well as being a part of the seller community, definitely check out the Beginner FBA Selling course. It's there to help you get started and walk you through the whole process. Along the way, celebrate your wins, answer all your questions, all of that. I'm in the group every day answering everyone's questions, so definitely check that out. Q4 is here, and if you want my help, if you want the Q4 guide or any of the ungating bundles, those are also available, as well as the Bolo group. All the links are always below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great week and happy sourcing.